would the National Commissioner be legally entitled to say to the Minister, Minister, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to act in accordance with your instruction?
Yeah, I take it that, yes, the National Commissioner can say that.
Now let me be direct and ask you about yourself. If you were to find yourself in such a situation, would you disobey the minister? If the minister were to give you an instruction that strays onto operational or managerial matters, would you, General Masemola, say to the minister, I am not going to obey that?
Yeah, it depends, Commissioner, but yes, I will. It's a matter that is career limiting, but
it depends on what?
It depends on how he does it. The outcome of this highlights both the complexity and the challenges inherent in prosecuting politically related cases. As I said, commissioners earlier, the cases are quite very complex when one investigates them. So they need more skill, more time.
But perhaps if you could just shed some light to the Commission, what is it that is complicated about investigating these or prosecuting these politically related cases?
Yeah, what it entails is that you have somebody, we call it a hit orderer, somebody that orders that somebody be killed, and they have to procure a hitman, which is Nkabi. You must somewhere procure also a firearm, and then at some point then get the firearm to the Nkabi and make sure that then the hit is undertaken. So to link all those people.
Sometimes procure spotters as well.
Yeah, sometimes they procure spotters that will check where are the people. So after the killing, it's sometimes complex, difficult to link all those people. And there are those that have got, they've invented some new modus operandis in terms of how they deal with. But I wouldn't say it because it will educate others. So that's how complex it was. And in some cases, especially of cases of intimidation and attempted murders, counselors will go as far as getting into their cars and say somebody must shoot, but just make sure you shoot just on the shoe, don't shoot too deep on the bone. And in that process, sometimes because the person is in the boot, you shoot from outside, always an accident happens, then they get seriously injured. And that was done purely to derive to fight for protection, to say one's bodyguard, I've been shot at. But when investigations at later stage, sometimes it reveals that no, but where you say there was a shooting, it was only you and the protector who was there, or it was somebody, not a protector. So then they will then confess that, yeah, no. I wanted to make sure that I get a budget from municipality for protection. That's how at length they went. So that's why I say these cases are quite complicated. Okay, thanks, Commissioners. With regard to that, in the letter where the Minister says, after assessment, the team is not adding value to SAPS or to the country. I can't recall the exact wording. I'm sure for one to come to that conclusion, yes, you must have done assessment. And when you do assessment, obviously you will talk to people that are dealing with the matter at hand. In this case is the PKTT. So in order for one to have had briefing of the PKTT, the minister would have definitely have briefing from General Mkonazi or have briefing from Dumisani Kumalo, or had briefing from myself. To an extent, maybe 30% maybe should have had briefing from Lieutenant General Libya, because Lieutenant General Libya, at some point, he headed the National Steering Committee, but it didn't go far. He left it. So he wouldn't know the complete work of the team. There is no way he will know it. So then to come to that conclusion without having this briefing, I wonder who briefed him, because that's for sure I know. There is nobody that knows the work of the team than those, unless you go to the junior commanders of the team, which we inquired, and that is not the case.
You say the narrative that the PKTT was not effective is completely false. Can I ask you to deal with that?
Thanks, Commissioners. Yeah, on paragraph 92, I'm saying that the narrative that the PKTT was not effective is completely false. If at any point I was convinced that the PKTT was no longer effective, I would not have approved its extensions and budgets, which had to be considered twice a year. Hence my astonishment when I learned that the minister had issued a directive to me to implement his decisions to disband the PKTT. I'm convinced that if the minister had made himself available for briefing and engaged me with an open mind prior to issuing the disbandment directive, he would not have disbanded the PKTT. The Gauteng team, assisted by the seconded team from KZN, conducted 2 simultaneous operations on the 6th of December 2026. The arrest of Mr. Molefe and the questioning of Mr. Matlala around the kidnapping of one Mr. Jeribu Shura happened. The operation conducted at Matlala's house originated from a referral from my office. In particular, a concerned party requested a meeting with me, and upon meeting, the person indicated that General Sibia, he implicated General Sibia and indicated that he is known to be close friends with Mr. Matlala. It was expressed that that Matlala was involved in various crimes and suspected to be involved with the kidnapping of Mr. Jeribu Shura.
Without necessarily giving the details, are you saying that the concerned party who came to see you implicated General Sibia in the kidnapping that you refer to in that paragraph, or is it in relation to something else?
No. He did not implicate him in the kidnapping. He implicated Mr. Matlala in the kidnapping. But he further said that Mr. Matlala is very close to General Sibia, and the concern of coming to me was that there is no way that General Sibia can oversee this investigation or decide who must investigate this case. That's the reason for coming to me. Yeah, the matters around this, they are still under investigation, but well, the person did bring to my attention that the closeness of them to such an extent that this person said, Mr. Matlala is actually one of my deputies. It's just that I'm not aware of, in that he's doing the same work with General Sibia. They direct police to do certain things and so on. So that was the allegation that was said. I think it's safe to leave it there. In 2019, a directive was made to the National Commissioner of Police following the Moerane Commission report, even though not flowing directly from such, that an interministerial task force be established. The key mandate was to stop, investigate, resolve unresolved matters of politicians in the country, especially in KwaZulu-Natal. My observation in this regard, as indicated above, is that further existence of this team is no longer required, nor is it adding any value to policing in South Africa. I therefore direct that the political killings task team be disestablished immediately. Further, that a preliminary report in this regard be submitted to the Minister by the 20th of January 2025. The final and closing report must be submitted to the Ministry Management Executive Committee meeting late January 2025, the date of which will be communicated as soon as possible. You are sincerely signed, Minister of Police, Mr. E.S. Mchunu, MP, dated 31st of 12/2024. However, it seemed that the matter could not wait. I received a call from Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi the same day, 2nd January 2025. He told me that he saw in the media a letter from the minister to me to disband the PKTT. I informed him that I am on leave until 14 January 2025 and had not had any opportunity to consider the contents of the letter from the minister, but that I was aware of it. I made it clear to Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi that I had nothing to do with the disbandment, and I informed him that the minister never sought any advice before taking the decision. Given the fact that the minister was instructing, not soliciting our views of the disbandment of the PKTT, I deemed it necessary to speak to the President about the issue. I spoke to the President on the 1st of February 2025. During this meeting, I mentioned the Minister's directive to disband such a successful team, and the President told me that he would speak to the Minister. Of course, I didn't really require from the President to say whether he agree or not, but I did tell him that this team is being dissolved, reason unknown, and I said if ever it has to be done, it cannot even be done in this abrupt manner because I don't know what we are chasing. And that's when he says, no, he will speak to the Minister.
There you basically accept that the PKTT must go. You say it must be wound down, but it must be wound down in a phased manner. So you may not have gotten to the stage of actually killing it, but you had accepted that it must be killed, but in a phased manner. That's where I am. And you go so far as to say that no new dockets must be given to it. So you've basically accepted the instruction, but it's merely just a question of how this should be implemented. You can only implement a decision if you've accepted it. So that's where I am.
Yeah, correct, Commissioner. There, yes, in terms of those proposals, that's what I end up proposing to the Minister that, yes, maybe this is the way to go, which was still not accepted.
Unsubstantiated. Well, so one of the issues that you wanted the investigator to look into, or the person that had been appointed to conduct this investigation, was alleged associations. And at that stage, it says there are unsubstantiated allegations that Lieutenant General Sibia has associations with individuals under investigation by SAPS, including Mr. Vusi Matlala, these allegations require further criminal investigation. Now, the question that I'm asking you is this. If you look at this paragraph, it says the allegations at this stage are unsubstantiated and they require further criminal investigation. You see that? 179.5. And if you look back at paragraph 121, it says, the part that I just read, Lieutenant General Sibia was included as one of the senior subs officers involved with criminal syndicate. And can I ask you to clarify to the Commission what is the status of these allegations? Because you see on the one hand it says unsubstantiated, and in the earlier part, the allegations, well, the association is put as a fact.
Thanks, Commissioners.
So that when the commissioners apply themselves to this issue, they've got to understand what your evidence is.
Yeah, Commissioners, this is a matter that is under investigation, and one, of course, will never say, you can never qualify it. For now, you can say it's unsubstantiated allegations until it is fully investigated and proven.